On, we're gonna try to situate the battlefield in the fog of war and try to see what we could come up with. Because obviously, I'm not an insider with my two fans, with my three viewers. I'm not an insider, but I want to know. I'm ahead in the curve on XRP. I see what 99.99% of the world does not see. So that puts me over there. But now I want to be ahead of the pack, ahead of the institutions, which throughout all of history was completely impossible. But now it's down to like 99.99% impossible. So you're saying there's a chance. And I'm going to do everything I can to maximize that chance for myself, to position myself before institutions go to wherever they are going. Because we are in the fourth turning, because fiat, for at least the fifth time in the last couple hundred years, 600 years, this is the fifth time, fourth time, can't remember, I'll look that up. Fiat always crashes to zero because it has zero intrinsic value. You see, the central bank, which is a European, a city of London, a Bank of London style uh, debt slavery entity. That's what the Federal Reserve is. It's a British London style debt slavery instrument. Should not have come over here. We have been conquered as a nation since 1913. Period. Stop. We have been conquered. Until the federal, this is what, the third Federal Reserve? Until it's gone forever, we are a conquered nation with fake, worthless money, debt slavery. And we are slaves to the city of London as long as the Federal Reserve exists. Which I don't, that's good news because I don't think it'll exist too much longer. Maybe not the rest of this year. We'll see. Definitely not by 2030. We are going to be slaves to London no longer. 100 years is enough. And but more specifically, what I want to rant about is I think Evernorth is going to close this month, August, and I think this is what like all the suppositions. What I'm going to suppose. I'm gonna jump a couple logic points. So basically, I mean, obviously, this is just opinion. But for me personally, it's opinion that I'm going to navigate my life to, my real world life and my imagination life, which is more important. So a question dawned on me the day. Okay, well, the first supposition is I know that XRP, from in my opinion, will go to at least four digits to start the ball rolling on a global bridge currency, pristine tier one HQLA, high quality liquid asset this year. That's a foregone conclusion to me, not financial advice, but I believe it 100%. So that's one thing that I'm basing all this other stuff. I'm building it up based on my beliefs. So yeah, XRP, easy peasy, four digits, and that's six digits needs to be the floor if we want to include the derivatives market and the full tokenization and the full settlement of all global market. Six digits is the floor for XRP. But I think they could get away with maybe four digits for a little bit, and we just leave the derivatives market out of it for now. Leave all that paper oil, all that paper silver. Let that just hang out, maybe it'll destroy itself or whatever. But I'm just going 4 digits because that's actually like easier for people to palate. Like the two people that are listening, one just left, couldn't take it, which is fine. Keep scrolling. So I'm assuming that XRP will just do 4 digits for now, which, like I said, I think it's going to be six. 100,000 as a floor, and it'll go up from there as GDP approaches infinity, as supply, circulating supply and available supply drop towards zero. Now remember, total supply, available supply, and circulating supply are three completely different things. Especially if Evernorth has something to say about it, and BlackRock. And whenever I say Evernorth, assume I'm saying BlackRock as well. I think those two entities, like not tied in a business sense, they're tied in a timing sense. I think they'll both enter the market same day or same week, something like that. That's just my belief again. But so we're at XRP 4 digits. So the question dawned on me today: what if XRP appreciates before Evernorth consummates the business combination, which means it's still a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company. And that means none of the shares of the SPAC have the exposure of the underlying business of the trust. That doesn't happen. The exposure of XRP doesn't happen to the shares until after the S4 is rated effective by the SEC, after they consummate the business combination. That's when their stockpile, like what, $1 billion right now of XRP, begins to be reflected in the shares. The exposure in the shares, we're at like 6.7 right now, XRP per share, something like that. So if XRP appreciates first, before Evernorth consummates the business combination, then something breaks. Then, like I researched a little, like some preliminary research, then they don't have their density leverage because the XRP is not pegged to the share yet. The shares of the SPAC they have zero exposure to any of the XRP in the trust. So if XRP is at 4 digits and XRPN Evernorth is still a SPAC, that's a massive, massive discount. Like it'd still be $10, and let's say XRP is at 4 digits. Let's say $2,000. Like things could break there, because then you're going to pay $10 for exposure to 7 XRP, or you could buy 1 XRP for 2,000. But you don't own the asset. Of course, it's a XRP exposure product, a DAT, digital asset treasury, but still, that's breaking. You're not going to miss. You're going to miss the premium because we're really counting because of all the lockups. At least for 6 months, 90 something percent are going to be locked up, and this is through math through the guy on Reddit. He did some math. I double checked his math in a video and seemed to work with the number of outstanding shares, which is 23 million, and the number of warrants and the fully diluted. And he did some math, and it seems like for the first 6 months, at least 97%. Then there's I think it's a 30% release. So they're going to have to find somebody to soak up that liquidity 6 months in. And then some more releases coming up after that. But I don't think it'll be a problem for institutions to soak up Evernorth. But at the beginning, it's going to be all the institutions, all the pension funds, all the hedge funds, all the sovereign wealth funds, all of them fighting for the remaining 3% of the shares stock of the stock float. There's only 3% remaining available because of lockups and other things. So that's what it's saying. It's going to be an institutional premium. But if it's still a SPAC, if XRP jumps, price appreciates to like 4 digits before Evernorth consummates the business combination and de-SPACs, that's a huge problem. Because they can't get their institutional premium because it's going to trade 3 to 5. So if it's at 7, it's trading like it's 21 XRP in there. So that's like at 4 digits, that's shit, man. That's a lot. Like $2 million a share. So this could get out of control fast if XRPN Evernorth does not close or consummate the business combination before XRP is considered a collateral or appreciates, or however you want to say it. Pristine collateral, tier 1, HQLA, high quality liquid asset. If XRP pumps first, Evernorth is in a bad place. And that means SBI is in a bad place because they own 39% of the shares right now. That'll go down some once the warrants are exercised or excised. It's like 11.5 million warrants, something like that. I think there's more because they say in the fully diluted is 140 to 170 shares. And I can't get that number. I can't figure out how they got that number of all the warrants because in the S4, I actually have it. Go. They big up. Ooh. Public shareholders 23 million. So total shares with the Pubco warrant shareholders 11 million. So they got 82 million shares altogether. And that's including the warrants. So that to me looks fully diluted. But there's something else because everyone else is getting numbers of, ooh, there it says 140 right there. It's smaller. Where did it go? Where'd it go? Saw 140 somewhere. Forfeiture of 120 SPAC Class A shares. 120 SPAC Class A shares. Oh, 120,000. And then 140,000. It doesn't include those. Okay. It wasn't 140 million. It was 140,000. So wasn't that just 85? Oh, what's this? It's different. Secondary closing including warrants. Why are these pro forma? Pro forma. What's the difference between these two tables? This one adds up to 82. Oh, this doesn't have the warrants in it. Okay, so this is the one I normally look at. No warrants. So this one has the warrants in there. 82,000. But the warrants that you could buy online, on your exchanges and stuff are Armada. Dang it, I can't remember the name. Corporation. Whatever, Armada. And so maybe those are a different type of warrants, but they're not included anywhere on the table. So I get 82 million shares total with the warrants fully diluted, but everyone else is getting 140 to 170 shares of Evernorth fully diluted after they consummate the business combination. I don't know where they're getting that numbers. Maybe somebody could help me out. I am pretty new at this, but I'm trying my best, digging as deep as I can, as fast as I can. But yeah, I got the warrants in there, 82 million shares totally diluted, if no redemptions. The redemptions are for the public shares to where they sell their shares for cash, not the exercising of the wall. It's just assuming every warrant holder does it. Yeah, you see over here, SBI is at 39.6%, and I think that's fully diluted. So I don't know what they're talking about. I got to figure that out offline, moving on to the next thing. So it'll decouple the value. They'll lose their premium. It could be 3 to 5 is normal If anyone's paying attention, we are not in a normal market. All these markets are lies. All these numbers are complete lies. I mean, this 12,000 right there, that should be up north of 18, 19,000. I'd say 20,000 yen per barrel. We're at 79. That should be at 150 to $200 per barrel. This should be well over 170 JPY USD per JPY. And so all these charts are lying. They do not reflect reality. So this was, I think they came up with the number 50 billion, and then this one was 30 billion. So we're at 80 billion. So I took that number and I asked AI, how much would it have cost Japan to completely fill all their public and private strategic petroleum reserves? Completely full, maxed out oil, so then they could ship the noodles, they could cook the noodles, they could run everything, all their plants or everything. Gas prices come down over there. Their yen's crashing, but what would you rather have? A strong paper currency or fuel in your car? I mean, I know what I want because I hate fiat. Fiat's demonic. It's evil. It is. It's a debt slave. It's the chains. The chains are the debt now. That's your prison bars. So Japan on Friday only, not counting for the rest of these last couple of weeks where they did all these other interventions, over the last 6 months, not counting that. Just Friday, Japan could have filled their strategic petroleum reserve, a 250-day supply, 8 times over. They could have had enough fuel for 6 to 10 years, or probably 8. What? Dang it! Let me do the math. 250 times 8. Come on, I can't do math when I'm live streaming. Like, that part of my brain is taken up for something else. It's weird. Like, cognitively, streaming does something to the math part of my brain. It gets hijacked somehow. Doop beep times ocho. 2,000 divided by 350, 365. Good Lord. So with the money they burned on Friday, just burned it up. They got what, 3% drop? It was at 64. Now it's at 56. So they got a couple yen drop. They could have bought oil for 5 years. They could have had 5 years worth of oil for the money they burned. I'm actually adding that in. That's 5 years of oil reserves for the yen they burned on 7/31/26. That's 5 years of oil. That's fucking crazy. Sorry about cussing. And, my math might be a little bit off, but the point remains, we are not attempting to help humans through these policies. We are not trying to make humans' lives better and save humanity. That is the opposite of what we are doing. We are harming humans, just like in the 2019 pandemic of policy. We are destroying supply chains intentionally through policy. That is what our governments are doing. They are not helping us. They are harming us 100%. Last Friday, Japan could have bought 5 years worth of oil, 5 years worth of crude oil, been set on oil for 5 years. But instead, they threw that money away and burned it for a 3% drop. That's going to be gone in the next couple days. It's rising right now. These so-called elites, these leaders, are retarded. They are not our best and our brightest. We only send the most corrupt because they can be blackmailed. All the good people get weeded out. Our leaders are demonic and retarded. They could have bought oil for 5 years at $80, which is high, but compared to what it's going to be in the next couple weeks, $150, $200 a barrel, they could have released 2 years of that back on the market and boosted their yen down to $100 per USD, or yeah, 100 yen per US dollar. Just sat on the oil for a month. They are not trying to fix any problem. Japan takes that money, buys five years worth of oil, sits on it for a month, sells 3 years back. Then they strengthen their yen by 50%. Now we're at like 75 yen per dollar. That's a 1 month strategy that I just came up with in 3 seconds. We're not trying to fix things as governments. That's not the purpose of a government. The governments are intentionally destroying supply chains through policy. Just like in 2019 pandemic policy. Ooh, the trash is coming. I got it out there on time, but I have my old little chicken coop. I set it on top under the lid, but I set it on top sideways, so it's kind of sticking out both the sides. I think you should do it, but you know what? I'm actually going to go run out there just to make sure. I'll be right back. Sorry, everybody. Oh, somebody left anyway. So anybody who's listening, I apologize. Go take a bio break. I'll be back like 2 minutes. Shit, my bad, everybody. That was yard waste, so I might have to go do that again. But garbage has been coming really late lately. So all the previous things I was saying, I guess if nobody knows what I usually say, how the governments are doing it on purpose and blah blah blah. That comes with a very large, heavy caveat that, but there's a plan. But there's a plan, okay? Because everything I was saying earlier, as I was standing out there, kind of like it was echoing in my head, I realized that, oh wow, I was blackpilling, like that's really negative. But that's the movie, that's the narrative that they're showing. But that's not the whole story. There is a plan, there is a way out. There are people, guardian angels, there are good people in governments that are working, risking their lives and dedicating their lives to helping humanity, public and private sector. There's people that nonstop 24/7 are trying to free us from our debt slavery, from these evil people that set up these governments, Bank of London, Federal Reserve, all these evil entities that are designed to enslave people. There's people trying to cut the head off the Leviathan. So this is not a doom and gloom talk. This is not a black pill talk. This is the battle is already won. It is already finished and the good guys won. We already won. But this is the movie. This is the Hegelian dialectic, like I always say, the problem, reaction, solution. This movie needs audience participation. You play an active role in them. They can't initiate the solution without your reaction. Problem, reaction, that's the audience. Solution. That's been used for evil, and that's been used for good. But yeah, Japan could have bought 5 years worth of oil Friday. No big deal. Not that important. Oil's not that important for anything in Japan, especially since they don't produce any oil themselves. Crazy, crazy times. But that's the narrative. That's the narrative. It's better to strengthen your fiat 3% for a couple days than to buy your entire nation 5 years worth of oil. That's the logic these people decided. Globally. It's not isolated. This is a global decision. So you could see what they're doing. They will destroy the entire world if it keeps their fake fiat Ponzi scheme floating a little bit. Because it's going to crash. It's weekend at Bernie's, man. It is dead already. All fiats are dead. All fiat is zombie currency. It's dead at the beginning. It's dead when it starts. It's dead in the middle, and it's dead at the end. There's nothing alive, real, true, merit-based about fiat. Ever. Never, ever. In the last, 5 times they tried it, last couple 100 years, 1,000 years, every time they tried it, it's always been dead. That's why I say there's a plan, though. We're moving into an asset-based, where you're not a debt slave, where the currency is deflationary, which means it appreciates in purchasing power. Fiat currency is always inflationary because they just print it out to infinity. That means your purchasing power goes to zero every time, every single time. So these numbers are whack. So the whole point of this talk was to get in my head, I know for sure now that Evernorth will consummate the business combination and de-SPAC, which means its S4 will be considered effective by the SEC I call it go live, but AI doesn't like that. It's like it's already live. It's not live yet. It's not completely. The business combination isn't consummated. So you got to say it really specifically for AI to know what you're saying, which is fine. It helped me learn more. Because if you can't explain it, then you don't understand it. So, oh yeah, that's the 97% lockup. That's this. Let's go there really quick. That's the Reddit. So if I'll put this in the link. If you ever want to get the Reddit article, I'm putting it in the live chat. So that's the Reddit article. I checked his numbers; they matched. But I'm not the end all be all. I don't know everything, so I can't really tell if. And his is based off an older S4, but the numbers seem to be the same. But I checked his numbers. I see where he got his numbers. I can't remember it right now, but I did it in a previous video about a month ago, maybe 2 months, something like that. And his numbers checked out, and he's doing a 3-time premium. But yeah, he's got 97% lockup for at least 6 months or something like that. I think 10% comes out in the first couple months, and then 30. So 40% gets knocked off. So that'll be 50% of it still locked up. 50% of the available shares, which is like 24% of the total shares. So we're talking the numbers are getting really small here for all the hedge funds, pension funds, 401ks, sovereign wealth funds, all of them, exchanges, all the everything. The numbers are getting real thin for the amount of shares available. Yeah, where did I just see that? So he's got the outstanding, fully diluted at 140 to 170 million shares. I don't get that. But he's adding it in with all the warrants being exercised. I can't remember what that is, but like I said earlier, go. Thank you. Even with the Pubco warrants, I got 82. I got 82 million fully diluted. So I don't know where he's getting his numbers. Not saying he's right or wrong. Just saying I don't know where he got that fully diluted number. But I checked with AI and they got it as well. But maybe they got it from him. Because AI references this Reddit post a lot. So be careful when you're researching Evernorth with AI, because most of its references are going to be this Reddit post, which might be correct. So that might be okay. I don't know. So, so there's that. I'm going to look into that again later. Just refresh my mind because it's been a month or two. 34, fear and greed index in crypto. So I'm 100% locked in that Evernorth will consummate the business combination before XRP makes its price appreciation, before XRP price moves to the upside. I'm locked in that. Oh, I didn't read this yet. That Evernorth will close, and I'm saying this month. Jake Claver's saying this month because of the S4s. They just filed their 5th amendment to the S4. So that's back and forth 5 times with the SEC. I checked with AI. Sorry if you hear me smacking. I forgot I was really hungry and I just took a bite. Way too much salt in my food just now. Oh, but I made it, so I got to eat it. I like undersalting things for some reason. Like I worked in restaurants a lot, and the amount of salt that like basically everybody else likes is like, bro, all I taste is salt. And everyone's like, yeah, it's so good. So like this food, everybody in the restaurant, like even the cooks, everybody would be like, dude, that's delicious. And to me, it's like 3 times the amount of salt needed. I don't know. Maybe it's just my palate. Like I want to taste the ingredients, not just, the salt burning my tongue. Whatever. Goodbye. Um, so yeah, Evernorth this month, real soon. And with the oil happening, with the Strait of Hormuz, with Mandeb on the other side, with Japan wasting 5 years of oil to burn $80 billion on a Friday afternoon for 3%. Things are just getting kooky, man. Things are so bizarre. And again, I'm not blackpilling. There is a plan, and I'm discussing the plan right now. Evernorth is part of the plan. So I was doing some, not I guess research, like looking up AI. Just having discussions with AI is research, in my opinion. It's like what Wikipedia should have been. So, along with trying to figure out what would happen, the chicken or the egg, XRP price appreciate or Evernorth XRPN close its SPAC, D-SPAC, consummate the business combination. Along with that, I was looking up if XRPN goes or if XRP appreciates first to 4 digits. Remember, 6 digits to me is the floor if we're handling derivatives and the settlement of global settlement. 6 digits is the floor, and we'll have to go up from there. So I'm just doing 4 digits just to not alienate people. I guess I'm dumbing it down so it can be palatable. I'm adding more salt than I'm comfortable with just so other people will like it. Um, 6 digits is the floor, and it'll go way up from there. Massively way up from there. GDP goes to infinity. Circulating supply goes to zero, close to zero, approaches zero. All right, let me just read this really quick. I'm going to try to digest it. I haven't read it yet. I was trying to figure out if XRP goes first and price appreciates, and Evernorth is still a SPAC. Does that because institutions are going to want to buy XRPN because they don't want the crypto wallets, they don't want all that, but they want the exposure, institutional exposure. That's Evernorth, and it's going to be BlackRock as well. But BlackRock's probably going to do an ETF, which is a 1-to-1. A DAT, digital asset treasury, like Evernorth, is actively managed. This type of entity has never existed before. This is a yield arbitrage generating machine. It's going to be a black hole of liquidity. There's nothing in the universe existed like this, at least since the Younger Dryas. The search context highlights that the primary driver for Evernorth's potential value is the exclusion of specific capital from direct spot XRP markets, forcing them into the XRP vehicle post-merger and the yield arbitrage. If the appreciation happens before the merger, these entities would likely remain excluded from the XRP and upside because the vehicle does not yet offer compliant exposures they require. So you're about to disappoint and piss off every 401k, every sovereign wealth fund, every pension fund, every central bank. You're going to piss them all off in one move if you don't close before XRP jumps. That tells you what's going to happen right there. XRPN's going to go first. 401k and SDBA funds. I don't know what SDBA is yet. The context notes that trillions in these funds are waiting for the DTCC tokenization pilot. Oh, that's older. That's not true, actually. That was just a pilot for I can't remember what, 13 companies, 7 companies, something like that. And it lasted a day, and it was a circle jerk, and nothing happened. Or I guess stuff happened, but who cares? Maybe I care. I don't know, man. I wanted it to be cooler than it was. And the regulated equity structure to enter. As long as Evernorth is a SPAC, these funds cannot utilize forced entry mechanisms into the XRP treasury. Forced entry. I got to look that term up. God, this. I'm back on the poison ivy. I think it's actually Virginia creeper or Carolina creeper. Yeah, that's it. Virginia creeper. This little bastard. It's growing with my grapevines. Oh man, sucks. And the leaves are big too. You know how poison ivy is kind of smaller. These leaves are bigger than your hand, so it's like if it touches you, it gets your whole arm. It's on the back of my kneecaps again. Not as bad as before. Like before was at least 5,000% worse. It was awful. Raphides, needle-like oxalate crystals. Gay. But yeah, whatever. Scratching the shit out of my arms. I'm trying not to. Took a shower, but I got to put some Caladrill on. All right, so fourth century. The filing suggests that institutions seek a regulated U.S. securities vehicle. That's the yield and the regulated U.S. securities vehicles. They, per the Clarity Act, Section 404, things like DATs and not ETFs, I don't think, maybe ETFs, they could do things that retail cannot. They have arbitrage and borrow lend and other things, XLS 65, 66, pooling, single assets. They could do things that retail cannot do. Retail can stake. Institutions are not going to stake their assets. They're going to do tons of other things that generate a lot more yield or a lot more return. A SPAC in the pre-merger phase is technically a shell company holding cash and not an operating XRP treasury asset. These institutions are mandated to not an asset these institutions are mandated to buy. They would likely remain on the sidelines regarding XRPN until the effect filing. It goes into effect by the SEC. Confirms the merger, even if XRP price is soaring. I need to digest that. So like XRP is four digits, just going way up there. Retail's selling their asses off. Well, that means that Evernorth doesn't have access to its war chest. That means if XRP goes first, a lot of retail's going to sell. I mean, retail's what, like 10% max of the total supply? So that means XRPN would not be able to absorb all the XRP that retail's selling onto the market. Evernorth might be able to if they get their ETF to market fast enough. I mean, obviously, it's already settled in my head that Evernorth is going to consummate the business combination before XRP appreciates. But I'm just, devil's advocate playing the other side of this. So that means institutions are still on the side. They're still not in. So that means in this case, something other than institutional interest drove the price of XRP up, whatever that is. Administrative repricing, like Crypto Phoenix says, something. And this is all hypothetical. This is just a what if right now. So what if XRP went up in price to 4 digits before Evernorth closed? That means institutions are still on the sideline. They would likely remain on the sidelines. Yeah. Yield-seeking institutions. The AI-driven yield harvesting via the T54 Labs partnership, they're going to send the AI bots there. That means the stock market, you know how it goes up and down, arbitrage, if you get there first and buy early while it's low, and then the FOMO comes in, and then whatever it is goes high, and that's where you make your money and you sell off, and they're all exit liquidity. That's going to disappear. because AI bots by the millions are going to be trading hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of trades per second. Let's go per day, whatever, thousands of trades per second. That's going to make the arbitrage go to zero. That means the stock market as you know it will forever change and just be a flat line. All these charts you're looking at, they're going to be flat lines because of AI agents. They're going to get the arbitrage quick, instantaneously, let's say. But there still will be arbitrage in lending and borrow lend and XRP, when it becomes a tier one pristine HQLA collateral, its velocity will approach zero, like 0.1. It will not move. It'll be a static collateral forever locked up in Evernorth's dank dark vaults. And but it will be pledged and unpledged. That doesn't mean it's moved and it'll never be sold and it'll never move. It'll be pledged and unpledged. And that's AI's doing that so many times. And it'll have a reuse multiplier. It could settle 20 transactions, and that last one settles, and then it'll go boop, 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 back all the way up to the first transaction. And then the XRP, the amount of XRP that was in Evernorth, it'll become unpledged once all those 20 chained reactions are settled. Then the XRP that never moved, it was always there, but it got pledged, it'll become unpledged, and it'll be free to pledge to another 20 things in a chain reaction. But it'll never move and it'll never be sold ever. For 50,000 years, never be sold again. So institutions seeking this specific yield generation, which is all the institutions, are excluded from this benefit while the entity remains a SPAC. So, I mean, that settles it for me. Evernorth's going first. Evernorth's going this month, August. We're here. Like Jake Claver says, man, they kicked the can so far. That can is so beat up and abused. They kicked the can down the road. It cannot be kicked anymore. It's time. Folks, it's time. This is our month. And I'm going to elaborate on that. I'll hit on this again next time because I think we're touching on some subjects. Like, it's already settled in my head, like XRPN ASAP. Evernorth ASAP. Yeah, that's going to be fun. I'll hit that next time. Oh, this is it right here. This is us. This is what we're doing. All right. Well, that's about it. Let's see if anything's happening in the world. Jake Clavers. Oh, speculation to real utility. What do these folks say? Oh, you said that take much. All right. Once again, folks, this market is not reality. This market is not reality. That should be at 170. Well, they did spend 5 years worth of oil reserves, the equivalent of 5 years worth of oil reserves to do this little 3% swing. They could have bought 5 years worth of reserve for the entire country of crude oil and then hold on to it for a month till the end of August when prices are going to gap up to what they actually are in reality, not this fake chart. And that would have made them tens and hundreds of billions of dollars, which they then could have threw into their yen, burned it into their yen, just threw the money away like they did Friday. But that chunk of money would have brought this down to about 75 yen per USD. and they would have actually did some good. And the people of that country would have actually benefited from one of the retards in government. But they didn't do that, of course. They did something stupid and just burned a lot of cash for no reason to keep the fiat zombie weekend at Bernie's, the Ponzi scheme, stumbling down the road. That's what governments do. They keep the zombie walking down the road. But there's a plan. I don't want to end on the sad note. There's a plan. And this is where anybody who owns Evernorth, you're going to be at this website one of these days. I think this month, keep checking your mailbox. There's going to be a little paper in there one of these days telling you to go with this site. And you're going to be happy. All right. So there's always good news. The world is not going to darkness. It's going to light. People are waking up. People are governing themselves. Banks are not necessary. Governments are not necessary really soon. Some people still want to be governed. Some people refuse to take ownership over their thoughts. That's coming to an end. There will be a bifurcation of society. The people that do not need government, the people that for the past 10 years or so, give or take, have decided to research and wake up and govern themselves, they will be given the chance to govern themselves. Those who stayed asleep and made fun and turned bitter and black-pilled, you will be governed harder. Those that have not, more will be taken away. You don't have your consciousness up to par, well, you will be giving more government to take away your consciousness even harder. That is your choice. Do not choose that, in my opinion. So I decided not to be governed. I do not need cameras on me. I do not need a government to tell me to do good. I do good because it's good to do good, and I decided I want to do that. I stumbled through that, but believe what I mean. Believing is seeing. Believing is seeing. Decide this day who you are. I do not need to be governed. It is not required for me to do what I need to do and do what is right. I hope you are the same. The battle is already won. The victory is already ours. It's already done. It is finished. We won. Good guys won. The light won. The light always wins. All right, love you guys. Catch you next time.